If you're self-employed, you're not going to want to miss this, okay? We're going to show you today how you can be self-employed and still buy a home.
Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Jen and Steve.
Yay!
Season 2, episode 1 here for everybody out there. All right, so we're going to talk today about self-employed people and how you can use creative financing to buy a home.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so let's just jump right on into it. Mm-hmm. So what does a self-employed person need to get this creative type of financing?
Well, obviously, right, they need to be self-employed. That's most important. And they're going to have a bank account. That is like what this whole program is about. You need to do 12 or 24 months. I don't think I've ever really done a 24-month bank statement program. I just do 12. I try to do as little bit as paperwork as possible for my clients.
Makes sense.
Right? So I do 12 months bank statements. It could be personal or business bank statements. It doesn't matter. You have to have at least 10% down. Some programs are as little as 10% down. So you're going to have some money that you need to have saved. You're not going to get a down payment assistance program and do a bank statement program, right? It's just not gonna happen, okay?
Right.
You have to at least have a 620 minimum score.
Only a 620?
Yes. Now, of course, everyone knows the better the rate, the better the credit score, the better the rate. Well, the same thing with this program, right?
Okay.
So if you have on the lower, end, the 620, your rate's gonna be a little higher on this program than if you had a 700, let's say. But I'm really, I've never been scared about the scores because we're super good at getting scores up. So
you certainly are.
I'm not really worried about that.
Okay, so besides credit scores, what else is?
Your debt to income ratios still have to be in line. So 50% or lower, right? So 50% is pretty good, right?
Okay.
And here's a cool thing about this. You can actually combine bank statement income with W-2 income.
Wait a second.
Yes.
How does that work?
Okay, so let's just say you have your regular W-2 job, right? Where you're getting a paycheck stub, they're taking taxes out. You work for, Walmart, the county, the city, whatever, right?
Okay.
And you have a side hustle, right? So my last client had a charcuterie business. I have a DJ
so if
guy.
I Uber,
that's
going to cost as a side hustle.
Yep. Right. So you got a side hustle business.
What about a cannabis business? I know there's a lot of people out there.
That's actually full on. Yeah, I actually do cannabis bank statement program loans.
Okay.
Yes, most definitely. So you can have your W-2 income. And you can use that side hustle business, self-employed income, bank statement income, and you can use both incomes to qualify.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. All right, so if you're self-employed out there and you've been struggling trying to figure out how to get all your write-offs and still qualify to purchase, comment below if you've had challenges in the past, and we can see about connecting with you and helping you through the process.
Well, and I do want to point out what you just said, which is actually smart because most self-employed people, they have a hard time purchasing because they write everything off and then it shows they don't make a lot of income. But we know they do because their bank statements show, right? And that's where this program all really kind of derives from.
Right. So let's just say I'm bringing in my business, $250,000 a year. I'm writing off a lot of my business expenses, and all of a sudden I'm only showing $31,000 in personal income. Mm-hmm. Not saying you should all go that route, but it happens. It happens, right? Let's be realistic. Right. Then they're just going to go to the bank statement, look at the deposits, and they can verify that income based on 12 months of historical deposits.
Yes,
right?
And those deposits can come obviously from different sources. I have another client that walks dogs, and that is what their business is. They've been doing it for 4 years. They make great income doing it, and they have Venmo deposits. They have PayPal deposits. They have Apple Pay deposits. Some actually give them checks because, it's like an account she has with this groomer place. So you can have those deposits come in different forms.
Okay, quick question. I don't know why I just thought about this, but do as being self-employed, if it's my side hustle, do I need a business license to prove it's a business?
Yes, you do need to have something, a business license, an LLC, something, right? We sometimes can get around and say, hey, I have a tax guy who's been doing my tax returns as a self-employed person, but we really always, when we do these programs, we really try to keep the tax guy out of it. And so it's really kind of best if you do have some type of license. But you know what? Any kind of business that you have and you're trying to be as legit as possible, right? You're going to want some type of business license. And it's not hard to go down to the city and get a business license. Anybody can get one.
Right.
Go get one.
Yeah, it doesn't cost a lot of money.
Right.
Just some time and a little bit of paperwork.
That's right. That's
okay.
right.
All right. Well, Jennifer, thank you very much for sharing with everybody here today about self-employment and how you can still qualify to buy a home. Once again, if you have any questions, make sure to comment below, and we'll make sure we can reach out and connect.
Yes. Adios.
See you all in the next episode.